Hi, welcome to Chartertoconductor mailroom table. We're working on our brakes edition. This is an update on the brakes video. What we have here is this little number marked off, center bolster, air reservoir grease, air reservoirs, and then that would be the center bolster is packed with reservoirs. And then over here it says traction motor. This is a 3-wheel axle bogie with 2 traction motors. And this right here where I put my thumb in, the brake cylinder is optional. I don't want to, this is just a scanned copy. I had something already. Alright, so let's move on to the next page. This is a folding book. I used it to I'll show you that later. Alright, right here we have a central graphic. This is the GIF that I have. Basically the red moves on a gear tooth and pushes in the pumps and the brakes, or the hydraulic, out through the fluid. So we have this hydraulic here. Whether you flip it or take it over this way, then it goes up and down or left to right, you know. So here's the air going to the hydraulic, moving the teeth on the compression grill, and then these would be located at several points off the center bolster, which has a 4-way pump, which keeps the this is circled, and then so right where your bolster springs makes a nice little hydraulic. And we show this over here as a side bolster with the two different stacked hydraulics. And with this hydraulic, I'd like to try something different. Alright, we've heard of worm and tooth gears, right? Well, this one works on a cylinder, whether it be up and down, which would cause a torsion bar, or from the side, which pulls this brake pad in more. Instead of pressing onto it, it pulls it in. So, and the teeth gears are pretty strong in between the different parts of the gear. Shows the torsion gear, and then we'll move on to the next page. Alright, the next page is, if you didn't like the ratchet pawl, we can go back to loading your brake right here. Think of like a hairpin. Alright, so this is now we're on top of the brake with a hairpin. Alright, so the hairpin has a little piece of magazine clip, right? You put your circle in, you lock it down, and it's good to go. Basically, you can run inside this cylinder. This can act as an electronic contact or a knife switch, right? And then knife switch, so you put a silver nickel oxide liner in this. This will keep the temperature gauge, or if you wanted pounds per pressure, you could pinch a contact and it would tell you how much voltage versus how much pressure is being applied. Alright, moving on. What we did was we crimpled a whole bunch of pages, and they kind of would they fold into each other. Now this is our double air valve. What it is, this is for a 2-way air valve, and maybe I'll show you this in the next video. But actually, this back one is for the back side, the back one half of the bolster. The other in the frame is the other part of the bolster. Is given a 2-way port, and then the lines from the 2-way port pass these back. So these are actually your brake cylinders, which pass backwards in the 2-way port on both sides. And then your mounting brackets, and then your side bolster valve, and your drain. Alright, moving on back to the center bolster. We've now put the center plate in, and I was going to cut these out and tuck them in the folds. So you'd have one cylinder right here, as it says air, middle one, a grease, no in the grease, dotted by the line, and then another air. So what I gave is this is your center bolster. A look at the inside. Basically, I skipped the grease. I made a little grease marker so it cuts in front of the air. So that way the air is actually building in the grease, and the grease gives a higher PSI. And then there's 3 glad hands, but I did them this way. I'd like to do them this way, downwards, and then downwards, so you can break them either side, left side or the right side, overload one side of the truck. Alright, working from the center, we have, let me see if I can't wind this back up here. I have them folded a certain way. It's actually just like a... Alright, what we have is this is your bottom of your side baluster. Notice this says leaf springs, leaf springs, elliptical springs, as you may call them, is part of it. And then, like I noted, the glad hand on the side baluster. This is glad hand right here. And then these are induction coils, which help the electrical conduity, and which means they're running an electric there. And then back to the center baluster frame. Let me see if I can't fold this out. So what page we're on? Alright, I believe we're on this page right here. Notice like it overlaps, so what we did is I gave it a little lip here so it shows it's round. Right, these little round things. Just consider that not to be the center plate or half the center plate, depending if you want to make it double the size, or else it can be. Notice this is going to the traction motor. Traction motor noted right there. This is 1 gear to the grease, and then you can either do, well, you could do singles to each one of them, or you could do with a drive shaft through the gear thing, through the reservoir that will build with the traction motor, where the blowers would run on the gears of the traction motor. You can split them into 2, one here, one there, and then keep this is the outlet, like, say this splits this side mirror the left side, so now you have 4 different air reservoirs going back to these little notations right here, each corner of the different truck. And then so 1 big gear and then 2 small gears running the air cylinder, or you can do it one big gear, like I've noted over here on the side. So basically now we've added the drive shaft to the air and the grease reservoirs. Alright, now back to the wheel slippage. Your wheel slippage conduity. Alright, let's see. Alright, wheel slip relay. Basically, a wheel slip relay is a laminated, wire run around its core. So what we have is a wire running around a cord, and then we have 3 traction motors, but I actually just minus that one for the sake of not doing a true triple bogey, but a double triple bogey. And then notice the knife switches here. They recognize the brakes and also the dynamic braking part of the isolation switches to each traction motor. So what we did is a wheel slip relay on the side, which basically is like a piece of square bar where the wires are running to the traction motors to keep them neat so they don't get tangled up. But you'd have most of them have an adjustable rheostat, or should I say resistor, which adjustable resistor is basically a winding inside a capacitor. So then you move to the side, and then we have it on both sides here. And then we have what looks like a winding. You can give it a winding if it's got a stator coil. So that was that. And then this one rotates the iron core to the motor, which is the left, and then back to the left and the right motor. So we'd have that one, and then this one. So okay, what else did I skip here? So we're moving back to the knife switch thing. Now we're running on the side of remember the hairpin right here. Now that we're working with the wheel contact, and that's on top, the wheel conduity system, you have the iconic induction coil running, these 3 circles running on the wheel frame, and then they actually touch the base with the wheel and keep, well, we can also temperature indicate that and pressure, so keeps you from knowing how hot your brakes are, keeps you know how hot your brakes are. Alright, secondly is I'll come back and I'll show you a video of the anti-creep. I have kind of worked on it a little bit, and we'll see how we do from there. Alright, thank you, bye-bye.